Let's get to it. I've got my coffee. Got it from next door at Cafe Luna. Shout out to a solid tenant. The cafe actually went in here before we did, so I was doing a lot of building maintenance before I got to focus on building my own brand, Double Play. And so it's been cool to see what it's like to manage a building, and this is the first time I've been managing a building and working with the tenant. And there's ups and downs, and when it's a tenant's kind of first time in a new space, there's a lot of things that go wrong, and you kind of just got to roll with the punches. So lucky for me, I'm going to say it a bunch, I've owned a bunch of businesses. Some of them have just been internet businesses in my room. But they were legitimate LLCs, and some of them are agencies, and some of them were in actual studios, and now we're in a building. So all kinds, but I've been through the paperwork, the headaches of, signing leases, and oh, hey, there goes the black Cybertruck. There's this one black Cybertruck. I can see all the traffic on Route 1, and I think if I was going to get a Cybertruck, I would get a black Cybertruck. That one looks pretty cool. I'd get a matte black, but I digress. You learn, I've learned a lot in just the paperwork of starting businesses and running them, and I expect the obstacles and the challenges to come. That's just how it goes. So rolling with the punches there. We got through a winter. I did all the plowing here at the property. I did all the shoveling. I did all the salting, the sanding. It's exhausting. I really need to get somebody for this year, because I think in my neighborhood, I'm going to need to do the plowing in my neighborhood. I said that twice because our neighbor Mark, I think this is going to be his last year. I'm not sure. I've kind of been chatting with him and told him, hey, dude, you want me to step up? Let me know. There's a lot of folks still there. It's the neighborhood I grew up in. And I think they could probably use a steady hand. Tim's here. What's up, dude? Morning. No, you're good. Just in the middle of the pod. Say hello.
Hello.
And so I'm just feeling good that it's. I was telling the people that it's summertime and I don't have to plow right now. And so that's been nice. Tim's just laughing at me. He's walking away. But that's on the horizon. In Maine and New England, you have to appreciate your summer, because it comes and goes pretty quick. So that's just a little bit of opening remarks there, sidebar. I want to just dive into this Babe Ruth called shot jersey selling for $24.1 million. And I feel like I'm going to be leaning heavily on my friends at Collect. Shout out to Darren, as always, for doing some great reporting on the hobby. And I clicked, I was searching for the article, and I found the current article about the one that sold. But then I said, well, I think that they put out another article before, and Darren did on July 24th. And this jersey, the college shot Babe Ruth Yankees jersey, was at the National in Cleveland. And just kind of scrubbing through here, I think the initial estimate was $30 million for one jersey, which would have been 3 times more than Jordan's Game 1 98 NBA Finals jersey, which sold for $10.1 million. So the Babe Ruth one, it did sell for $24.1 million. So it nearly hit that 30 million mark. Fell a little short, but certainly set a record for a jersey. And I was trying to think, do I have anything that cool in the shop? Do I own anything that cool? Have I bought anything that cool? Short answer is no. But before we opened the shop, my dad came across these photos. These are amateur photos from an album. He's always buying albums at shows, and he's always he likes old paper stuff, and especially real photography, real photos, RPPCs, as we call them in the postcard world. And these weren't postcards, though. They were small, and we still have them. We just don't know what to do with them yet. They're small, about 5 photos, and the person in the photo is unmistakably Babe Ruth. And he's in the pinstripes. He's playing for the Yankees at Fenway Park. And it could possibly be the first time he returned to Fenway Park as a Yankee. You can tell in the photos based on, and obviously I don't have the photos to show you, but there was a fire in Fenway Park sometime, I think it was the early 20s. And, I'll look that up right now, Fenway Park. And I could tell, so since Babe Ruth got traded in 1918, it had to be some point after that. Otherwise, he would have been wearing a Red Sox jersey. Fenway Fire. Old. My Boolean searches. When did Fenway burn down? So 26. So in 1926, a fire burned down Fenway Park's left field bleachers, right? So because we can see that the bleachers are still there, it had to be sometime between 1918 and 1926. And these photos are Babe Ruth. They're from the stands. It's just some fan brought their camera and took these photos of the Babe. I'm wondering if what those will go for at auction, how many amateur photos of Babe Ruth exist. I haven't taken a deep dive into that, but I thought it would be relevant. Speaking of this Babe Ruth called shot jersey, which in July, when Darren put out that article, PSA, they failed to be able to photo match it. So it said 3 examinations. Failed to return a match in 3 examinations. I mean, got to be pretty tough to photo match this jersey with the old photography technology and film at the time. So it's really cool to see something like this sell and to think that, that called shot moment, which allegedly some people say wasn't a called shot. He was just pointing to the dugout or pointing to someone else. But as the legend goes, he pointed to the stands and then he hit a home run right where he pointed. And that is why this actual game-used Babe Ruth jersey, which has his name, I think, stitched on the inside, it looks like. Is it stitched? Maybe it's written. I think it's stitched. It's probably back then. It was probably stitched. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy this jersey exists. And talking about the origins, I'm just skimming through this article. A Florida woman said Ruth gave the jersey to her father to pay off a golf bet. And then she sold it to Gray Flannel Auctions in 1990. Sold to Gray Flannel Auctions co-founder, who then sold it to a private collector for $150,000. So in 1990, had you been able to hold on to this thing, you'd be a little over $23 million richer today. Pretty crazy, the stuff that happens in the hobby. That's why I like having this business and getting to collect things and buy things, because you never know what something is worth. It's worth whatever it is to the buyer. The eye of the beholder, right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's the same thing with the hobby. The market determines what something is truly worth. I can do my best to pitch and to say, oh, this is the cleanest iPhone. I know it's not brand new, but this is the best iPhone 14. Look at the case. And I could, spin it up and tell you that it's worth $10 million because it was, Steve Jobs filmed his last video using this device, right? But how do I prove that? So usually when we post stuff to eBay, we just kind of let the market decide what it's going to go for, 99 cents auction, let it rip for 10 days and see what happens. I do have a Mickey Mantle autographed 1955 Bowman baseball card that we sent to PSA. Autograph got a 7, card got a 4. I'll put a picture up of that here. It's in the back. I did bring it to trade day, what's today, Monday, 2 days ago at Hadlock Field. And, people thought it was cool. They wanted to see it. I'm selling it for $9,000 right now. So nobody wanted to step up, though. And that was kind of one of my takeaways I've been sitting on is more of these trade events and card shows I go to. Folks say, bring the heat, do this, do that, bring me the stuff. So me and Tim said, okay, cool. We will bring the heat. and Tim loaded up a box and a binder, and I brought the good stuff. And yeah, just again, people didn't want to step up. So I don't know if it's time of year or, if tax season's usually there's more sales because people get their returns back. But I've just found that most people are talk. And yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm just pointing it out. It seems to be a fact of life in my experience so far. And so knowing that, I think I'll still bring the heat to the shows. Like we're doing the show at the Expo October 19th and 20th, the Northeast Sports Cards Expo. That is a lot, but aptly named, very descriptive. We're doing that show, and we'll be bringing the heat. We'll also be bringing the mid-tier, the low end, the 25 cents, everything in between. We want to give everyone like a big sample of stuff to buy. Maybe some new stuff, maybe some jerseys. I don't know. Maybe some baseballs. I think mostly you're going to focus on the cards, though. We got some really old baseball stuff from that house, so we'll bring some of that. So that's something that we're looking forward to. As far as other stuff in the hobby goes, the excitement for the downtowns has died down a little bit. The other thing I saw was this Patrick Mahomes card. It was a authentic auto, and there was a sticker on the bottom right-hand corner of the slab if you're looking at the slab. And it just said authentic. There was no grade. And the price sticker, I think it said $7,500, was covering the corner. And when you take the sticker off or take the team bag off, you can see that corner, like the card was like peeled back. Totally messed up. And I think that is kind of shady for a dealer to do that and not be upfront. Now, of course, you need to do your due diligence, take the card out of the team bag, double check, but making it cloudy like that for a buyer, I don't like that. That's kind of shady. That shows me that you're trying to move this card that's authentic and you want to get top dollar, even though that bottom right corner was destroyed. What we like to do here is if there's some defects, creases, we'll put the price, but we'll also write out, poor crease or OC off center. We'll list the things so we know there's problems because we don't want you to have to guess. Like we're going to tell you up front what problems are with the card. Just need to be transparent with your customers. Like I price jerseys in here lower and they're like, why is this jersey so low? And I go, well, there's a stain. You can see it. Oh, all right. Or somebody will say like, oh, will you take less money because there's a stain? I go, well, I already priced it at $20 because there's a stain. Because if it wasn't one, it'd be $100. So it's always good to just get out in front of things instead of having that awkward conversation like I'm sure this person had with that dealer. Like, hey, you knew there was a crease here or the corner was peeled or messed up and you still sold it to me anyway without having any type of conversation about that. Just because it says authentic, again, doesn't mean the condition's perfect. And most of the time, that's why I would send something to get authenticated. I said, all right, I know this isn't going to get a great grade, so let me just make sure it's legit and we're good. Although on some of the older vintage cards, getting a 1, I think that's fine because at least people know poor 1 or fair 1 or 2. I think that's better. Just be transparent. That goes in business, and I think a lot of people in the hobby are not business people. It's not their fault. They like the hobby. That's what they like to do. And then they're forced to learn how to do business with people. And I'm kind of the opposite where, I collected cards as a kid, but I've been doing business my whole life, like running businesses and doing film and photography and, having to do invoices and working in corporate. So I'm treating this like a business because it is. And you got to take that to the show. But there's plenty of people at the show that they're just trying to sell their cards and they're used to only going to shows and flea markets. And everybody has different business practices. And unfortunately, some are kind of shady. And you got to have your head on a swivel and pay attention to the shell game going on in front of you. But I'll say for the most part, I've met some really great people having the shop open, and I have no complaints. I mean, I get people bringing me stuff every day, so I'm always having my guard up and knowing that these folks may not know that the things they have are fakes or are reprints, or they think it's worth more money. You know, there's all kinds of things. I don't think they're trying to put one over on me 9 out of 10 times. Every once in a while, somebody comes in and without saying it, I can kind of tell that they're trying to just hustle me for some money. So what I say is, oh, wow, if it's a fake card, I go, wow, that's a cool reprint. I haven't seen that one before. And I want to see how they're going to react. Are they going to say, yeah, I wish it was the real one, and acknowledge that they know that I know that this is a fugazi. This is not real. So that's just one way to handle it. You never want to accuse or be like on the attack with a customer. Just don't make them get defensive. Give them a reason to. Just kind of shrug it off. Like, I see this kind of stuff every day. This is cool. And honestly, some reprints, true reprints, not fakes, they still sell for a few bucks. I mean, people are trying to collect the 52 reprint set, the 53 MLB archives. Those are sets people are trying to collect and fill. So that's how I handle those folks, but haven't had too many. Mostly I have kids now that come in and they just want money for their cards, and they still don't understand how a haggle or negotiation works. And it's fun for me to kind of teach them, at least what I've learned, what I know. Because the kid will say, oh, well, it's comping for 80, so give me 75 or give me 80. I'm like, well, no, because I'm not taking it home with me. Like, I got to make money on this. Just another day. And then yesterday was back at the Sea Dogs again, and it was super fun. They had a DeLorean outside, so me and Andre went. Shout out to Jesse at Main Vintage Toys, put on pretty excellent event with the Sea Dogs. We got these sweet teal old school Sea Dogs colors fanny packs with the Sea Dogs and the Main Vintage logo. Put that to use right away. Just put my money in there, my wallet, chapstick. Pretty solid actually for a baseball game, like a really useful device. I don't like having things in my pockets. I just like to be able to move around free, and if you got like a wallet bulging in your pocket, it's uncomfortable. So that was fun. Got to go on the field, actually. Jesse asked me to go out there and film his son, Jacob, throw the first pitch. So made a little sequence. Never not working. That's what we like to say around here. So did that, and then came back here, mowed the lawn. I did half. I did the important part where people see on Route 1. Want to make sure the property looks good. And that was pretty much my day yesterday. Grind continues. Crushing the water still. Me and Tom, we're at it. 75 hard. Got, a little travel coming up probably end of September, but hobby, football's back is really, to wrap things up, caught a little bit of college football on Saturday morning, that FSU Georgia Tech game. That was tough. It's been a tough end of the season and beginning of the season for Florida State, who went undefeated last year and thought they deserved a playoff spot, and then Georgia just absolutely steamrolled them and showed everyone why they did not deserve a playoff spot. Just because you went undefeated, it's who did you play? And then Georgia Tech upset them to start the season. I think Florida State was ranked 10, and so off to a tough, rocky start, if you will. I think Alabama is coming up this Saturday. We don't need to talk about the Red Sox. They got swept at home by the Diamondbacks. They're doing exactly what I thought they would do about this time of year. So if they don't bounce back in the next series, you can call it a wrap on the Red Sox season. And then we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to football season. And the NFL should be underway any day now. We're already deep into preseason. So it's all sports all the time. I'm just excited for what this week's going to bring. It's Monday. Going to be just another average day with a whole different smattering of people coming in. People are going to be selling me stuff today. I might be buying, but probably not, unless it's a really good deal. And then we're also going to be selling that new product, that Topps Chrome. So we're 3 in, not stopping now. Well, I am stopping because this episode is over. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. And if you've listened this far, you're the best. Thanks for being here. I will get this onto Spotify as soon as I can, but I'm kind of busy. So just hang out for a little longer, and I will get it there so you can just throw it on in your drive and listen. Or, hey, put YouTube on in the background and treat it like audio. All right, peace.